kheajamila and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is going to be a story time. So if you're wondering about this story time, stay tuned. So while I'm doing my story time, I will be doing, well, to get ready with me, so I'm going to be doing my makeup. And any products that I use will be in the description box below if you are curious. Alright, this story time going to be a little cray. So this happened to me about, what, 2 years ago, like 2024. Y'all, it happened to me literally a week after I ended an 8-year relationship. Y'all, 2 years ago, literally. Wow, time is flying, first of all, because let me just tell you, it don't even feel like 2 years. Let's just put that out there. But anyway, so my fiance at the time, well, which is now my ex, he usually takes me to work because I don't have a car. And so like, he was taking me to work. So and if he could not take me to work, he always let me know ahead of time so I can like pre-order you know, a Lyft or Uber ride, so you know I can get my behind to work, right, you know, on time and whatever and whatnot. So this literally happened a week after, excuse me, my breakup. Like literally, it was like Labor Day week, and boom, I was like, I gotta go to work the next, like, I gotta go to work. So like, I'm like, I was still like, you just broke up with somebody, so in your mind you're thinking like, the first thing I thought in my mind was like, how am I gonna get to work, because I just broke up with this man, so like, is he still gonna take me to work? Like, he was so like, there's another story time about how that whole breakup thing, how it came about, like, but we focus on this other story. But he was so like into still keeping the same routine even though we're not together, and I was just like, bro, like, I don't know about that, like, and I was just like, whatever, like, because in my mind I'm thinking like, it's literally been a week, whatever, just let me just do what I have to do. So when he came home the night before, you know, he was like, oh, you know, you're gonna have to get a ride for the next day because I have to go into work earlier than usual. And I was like, you know, whatever, cool. Pre-order my ride from whoever, like, whatever. The next day comes, you know, the morning comes, I see that my ride, that the original person that was supposed to take me to work, you know, it was the Lyft app, they canceled, and if somebody else picked up the ride. So I was like, okay, cool, that happens, like, no biggie. I'm not thinking too much. Ooh, I'm not thinking too much in it. So whatever. All right. I'm getting ready. So I live a good distance away from my job. So in my mind, I like to leave my house the earliest 7:45 a.m. because I have to be at work by 9, or the latest. When I say the latest, I mean the absolute latest, like 8:20. And that's pushing it. And you know, whatever the case may be. So I'm like, all right, if I leave, you know, I set the a ride for 7:45, like, you know, 7:45. But you know, I think I put a time frame between 7:45 and then like they wait for you for like a good 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so, whatever the case may be, and they'll be like 7:50. So whatever. Boom. Getting ready. It gets around about that time to leave, and it's like, what, 7:50 now. So I'm like, I'm looking at my phone and it says driver still on his way. And so I'm just like, okay, like, you know, like I said, whatever. Remember when I say, you know, the latest I can leave here is like at like 8:20. So cool. We're just waiting for the ride. So then, okay, it says ride arrived at like 7:55. Like, because he was on his way still at 7:50, but he came 5 minutes later, so he wasn't too far out. So I was like, okay, cool. He comes at 7:55, right? So I'm getting my things, y'all. I have my laptop with me because, you know, sometimes I work from home, so I take my laptop home. I have my bag, you know, it's September, so it's still kind of cool. I mean, it's not cool like hot, but it's cool, and it's, you know, so I got my things. I'm ready to go. As I'm walking out the door, he sends me a text message like, hey, can we cancel this ride? So I'm like, what? So he was like, yeah, can we cancel this ride because he said, can we just cancel this ride? I'm trying to cancel the ride. I said, but it says you're here. He said, yeah, I'm trying to cancel this ride, but it won't let me. I said, well, let me try to cancel it because I need to get to work, sir. Like, so I think, like, because, you know, you can contact people in, you know, the Lyft app. Like, you can send text message and, you know, back and forth, communicate basically with them. So I'm like, I didn't even ask why. I don't even care, like, because, bro, my focus is like, I'm going through a heartbreak. I need to get to work. I need to make money so I get up out of this, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta move on. Like, I'm just trying to work. I'm trying to stay busy. Like, so in my mind, I'm just focused, like, I gotta get to work. So he goes, the Lyft driver was like, okay, try cancel it. So I'm telling him, like, it's not letting me cancel because obviously it says that you're here. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not being able to cancel. You're saying you're not able to cancel, right? So then he says, like, F it. Like, he didn't say F it, but, like, it basically is like, F it, just, you know, come on, get it right. I don't know what the issue is. But that should have been my first red flag, to just either call out of work or tell my boss I'm going to be running later than usual. And I'll get there when I get there, when I can get my ride situation under control. Because that should have been my first thought. Was it? No. I was just focused on trying to get to work because my mind obviously was on, you know, whatever. So, boom. Get in the car, right? You know, I say, hey, good morning, you know, whatever. Excuse me, y'all. Hold on. So I get in the car, like I was saying, I was getting in the car. I say, hey, good morning. Like, how are you doing? He's like, hey, you know, whatever, you know, good and good morning, you know. And I'm thinking everything's all right. So he was like, yeah, sometimes, like, then he goes, as we're driving, like, we're literally now driving. We're on the road. We're like 5, maybe 10 minutes away. I would say like about 10 minutes away from my house. After that, like, we're driving. But I noticed when we're driving, he's doing one of these. Like, you know how somebody looks in the rearview mirror like this. So I'm thinking, like, because we're driving at a steady pace, so he's just like this. So I'm thinking, like, is, you know, whatever. I don't know what's going on. But he's like, he's doing that. So I'm like, look, I pay attention while I'm in the car with people, because you just never know. And this was one of them cases. Y'all, it was literally like, oh my goodness. So I noticed he's doing that. 10 minutes away from my house now, right? This man goes, yeah, you know, I'm just having a rough morning. You know how this goes. So I'm like, you know, let me make conversation, because I'm not one of those type of people who are like me. I am shy, I'm quiet, but like, I'll talk, you know what I'm saying, and be polite. So I was like, yeah, you know, I get it, you know. Some days are better than, you know, others, and worse than, you know, you could think. But, you know, you just pull through, and, you know, whatever the case may be. He's like, yeah, I'm just having one of those mornings, you know, I'm not mentally there. Red flag number 2. I don't know why I went to school to become a psychologist. Okay, I went to school for psychology. I should have just took my behind and said, you know, you might pull number, but no. My focus, again, I just want to get to work so I don't have to be in the house and, you know, think about bring up and, you know, I'm just continuing trot along my freaking way, right? Red flag number 2 when he said that. So I was like, oh yeah, you know, like, you know, we all have our days where we're just not mentally, you know, there. Still, my behind not catching. But then he's like, he's doing this again. Like, he's looking up in the rearview mirror and he's looking side to something. Then he's like kind of swerve a little. So I'm like, whoa. Like, he goes, yeah, you know, these drivers are out here and these people are crazy. And I was like, yeah, you know, like, I was like, yeah, you know, everybody's not always you know, there, everybody's in a rush. So I'm thinking like he's talking about the traffic, or he's talking about how people just, I don't know what he's talking about really. I'm just thinking he's talking about driving wise. And he's like, yeah, you know, now we are good. Now we going into like good 15-20 minutes now. As I'm talking back and forth, but he's like, yeah, I just like, he said, don't you just see them following us? I was like, what? It's funny now, but it was scary then. Immediately, because I'm so used to when I'm in like a situation, I'm so used to texting like my ex, like, because he was my confidant. He was, you know, I'm so used to like, I thought at the time, I'm like, I'm used to texting him because he was my man at a point. Like, this was somebody like I confided in, like when I'm feeling scary, when I'm feeling, you know, call on Jesus. Now that I know, call on Jesus, you know. So immediately I just texted him. I know he's at work, because the reason why he had to go to work early at the time, because he had an early meeting. So I was like, bro, because I can't say babe anymore. I was like, I know we're not together, you know, but you know, we're still living together and all this other stuff, like da 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 da. I said, but I'm scared. Like, he's like, what is going on? So I'm texting him, like, he goes, call me right now. I'm like, I'm not trying to alarm this man. Like, he's talking about some people following him. And I'm like, what people following you? Like, as I'm texting my ex, like, I'm scared. Like, this is, you know, like, I don't know what's going on. He goes, yeah, you know, I kind of have a fear of driving. I don't really like driving like all the time. So I'm thinking about like, why in the hell would you take a position to drive a vehicle for others and take them around if you have a fear of driving? He goes, you know, but it's easy money. There was my answer. It's easy money. And you know, I know, he goes, I never worked before, so this was do. But then he goes, you know, I also go, you know, I'm going through things. So I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, like, I can see that, because you talk about people following you. And I'm like, who? He goes, but don't you see the people following us? And I'm like, I was like, I said, you mean the car? So I said, Kia, say something, because, you know, if you stay silent too long, he gonna be, you know, he may get a little alarmed. So I said, oh, you mean like the cars? They probably just go in the same direction we're going, you know, because, you know, we all can sometimes be going to the same place, you know. He goes, no, they're on me. They're on me. And I was like, if there was ever a time, I'm sitting here praying in my head, like, I'm like, please, like, I should have just called out. And I just knew. I should have just text my boss, like, please, like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? So then he starts swerving. Why Max gonna tell me to call your mom, call your sister? I'm like, they're at work. What are they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And you at work. I'm texting you to let you know, like, you the last person I talk to. So if you talk to my mama, tell her I love her. Like, it was like one of them type of situations, because I'm like, this man ain't stable. So he stops talking, but he's still doing one of these. And I'm just like, well, I said, you know, well, maybe we just, you know, go on a slow lane, like something, like, I don't know, like, please, like, calm down, because now you're making me jittery, and I suffer with anxiety already. So my eyes, anxiety peaking, got a little sweat on the brow. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I should have just called out. I just should have just called out a freaking word. And no, my dumb behind that says, go to work. Like, yeah, because I just didn't want to sit in the house and mope and cry and stuff, because I had the bills to pay still at the end of the day. Like, girl, let me tell you something. Breakups don't care. Bills don't care if you go through a breakup. Go get that money and go work. Girl, you got to pay these bills. Like, that's all I was thinking. Like, I gotta pay these bills. I gotta get up out of this house. I gotta find a way. I gotta do this. Like, that was my mindset, like, at the moment. So I wasn't missing work. So I was like, I'll mope at work, but I'll get the job done. So like, I'm saying, so then he goes, he starts talking again. He was like, yeah, my parents I'm living there with them, you know. And then one day they just tell me, you need to get a job and do something with your life. And I ain't never worked a day in my life. And I'm like, okay. Then now he's telling me his life story. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just like, you know, well, you know, sometimes parents feel like, you know, we need to do responsibilities. I'm talking to him like I'm perfectly calm. Girl, I am freaking out inside. Like, please, Lord, like, if you could just... I know God was with me at that time because protecting me. Because the way this man was swerving, there was horns that were like, beep, beep. Like, what are you doing? Like, he was not stably driving. And I don't even know if that's the word, stably. But, like, he was not driving stable at all. Like, he was all over the place. My ex is still texting me, like, are you good? Are you good? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm just waiting to get out of this car. Now, we about, like, a good 5 minutes away from my job. So I'm like, thank you, Jesus. 5 minutes to get from the job. 5 minutes! We're getting from the job. Why this man, you know this, I was about to say, y'all know what the stop sign, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know, because y'all know where I work, y'all don't even know where I live. But, there's a stop sign, like, right before we get into the, like, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, he's supposed to stop by the stop sign while the other car, you know, and then go with the whatever. This man kept going, and there's a car, like, it's like this, and this is us, this is the car. He's like, this is the car. I'm like, and then the car's like, I said, it's 5 minutes away from my job, please. 5 minutes away from my job, like, please. He's like, yeah, see, the cars are going crazy, everybody's going crazy. And I'm like thinking in my head, bro, no, you didn't stop at a stop sign. Ain't nobody going crazy. It's him not focusing, and you don't even need to be operating no vehicle. He said, you see? I said, wow, so crazy. Like this situation I'm in, and I wish I never would put myself in. Bro, if y'all only knew, I was shaking in my boots. I said, please, let me get up. Let me get to it. Yeah. We pull up at my job, right? Pull up at my job, and you know when, you know, the Lyft or Uber app, you gotta give them tip or stars or... I wanted to put on there, never drive again. I wanted to say that. So we get there. Parts in front of my job, or where, you know, we need to go, where I direct him to go. And he turns around, because you know how, you know, I see, and he goes, I'm really sorry about this. It just... They're following me. They're following me, and I'm just frantic. I'm not mentally there. And I wanted to say, yeah, you sure ain't mentally. He said, they're following me. You know what I said when I got out the car? I said, please drive safely, and please just take the rest of the day off. That's what I said, girl, because I didn't know what else to say. And that was honest to God. Like, I didn't know what to say, because that was scary. He was like, I'm so sorry. Like, you don't even have to give me a tip, sir. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't say that part to him, but I said it in my head. I was like, I wasn't going to give you one. Because you had me shaking in my boot. And then I forgot I was texting my ex back before. So he's like, kill. I'm just saying it like in this voice. And I'm just like, I was like, I made it to work. He's all right. Because I'm about to call your mom. And I was like, and did say what? Because she would have been like, well, what am I going to do? And why the heck did she not get in the car? She would have cussed me out for getting in the car. I was so shaken, y'all. I came into work like, mind you, we didn't make it. I didn't make it there on time. Yeah, because the swerving and thrusting and the scoopers and the scoopers and all this stuff there. I came like a little by, like, it wasn't that bad. It was like 5 minutes over. I got into my office. A couple of my coworkers looked at me and was like, are you all right? I said, no. I was like, no. Like, I am not okay. Like, I said, I just need a minute, y'all, please, before I start working. My boss was like, you're never really late. I said, I'm not. But today was the day. I said, I should have just stayed home. I don't know why. I don't know why I came into work. Oh my god, so I'm telling my coworkers stories, they're like, you're stupid. Basically, they didn't say that, like, you're stupid, but they was like, why didn't you just pull over? Why didn't you just call out? Why? Just why? Why did you call one of us to come get you? I said, come get me. I live further than y'all. Y'all would have had to find me on the side of the road. I'm not really good with direction now. So it would have been terrible. So I was like, yeah. Whew. Yeah, so that was my story about that crazy Lyft driver child. God bless him. I don't know where he at. You know, I'm now newly saved, so now that I look back, I really feel bad for him. But at that time, I was not saying this thing. And I was like, should I punch him in the throat and run? Like, I don't know what to do. He's moving that vehicle. You can't do that. Like, but I remember, like, when we was in school, they was like, in situations like that, you gotta stay calm. You gotta be, girl, you can't be frantic with them. Because the minute you start to act, they're going to be frantic. And then they like, two frantic people cannot be in an operating vehicle. You're going to crash. One of you got to stay calm and just ride that thing out. I was like, and you know what's crazy? I have a fear of driving too. So I get it. Even though I have my license, like, I have a fear of driving, so I get it. But that's why I'm not doing no job operating no vehicle. Hello? Surprise, hello? I'm not doing that. And if anything, I take my time. I like to drive to places that is close. Up the street. 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes away. If we're going a little further, I'm going to get the shakies. So I have to calm myself down before I get behind a vehicle. But I know I'm not going to take somebody on a road trip with me behind the wheel. Like, no, man. That was, nah. So that was my story time, y'all. It's crazy. All I gotta say is, oh Lord, God bless him, and God bless me for getting through it. Anyway, I'm gonna finish the rest of my face off camera, and I'm gonna come back and show y'all the finishing look. But yeah, it's the finishing look. Doing this cute wig, this shirt I got from Shein, my watch, my cute little bracelets, Fashion Nova watch, Michael Kors. With the nude lippy. Alrighty, y'all. That is it for my video, my get ready with me story time. So if you like this story time, don't forget to like this video, comment below. Hee hee caca. Ta la la la. Talk to me, I talk back. And you already know what I'm about to say. If you caught this vibe with me, if you caught this vibe, you might as well subscribe. Thank you.